How you doing, guys? Today we have a special guest, Miss EMELYN Stewart of STUART'S Cinema and Cafe and founder of the October Film Festival. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful.
Welcome.
How are you? Yes, thank you.
You actually our first guest.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our first guest.
We got this amazing platform on Film Courage, and
That's wonderful. Shout out to Film Courage
we
for that.
we decided to have you,
Okay.
and because this
I feel so honored.
yes,
Yeah.
this
Okay.
title of this series is "Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is."
Woo! All my money.
All your money.
All the kids' money, all the college fund. I put
Right.
everything. Oh,
She went all in.
And,
all in.
And this is an important series because I believe that people want people to invest in them.
Yeah.
But I realize you got to invest in yourself.
Yes.
So tell me your journey. What made you get into this crazy world of entertainment?
Wow, that's a loaded
Loaded
question.
question.
Yeah, right. So I, have a real estate background. I'm really a business person who happens to be in the arts. Somebody gave me a script. I read it. I thought, oh, I want to help this guy tell this story. I called him up. I said, what do you need? He said everything. I had no idea what everything was.
Right.
Everything was a lot of money. And then I produced it and it won some awards. And I thought, wow, if I could figure out how to monetize this, I could do this for a lot of people.
So you had the passion of giving early on.
Yes, I couldn't have said that better myself.
Yeah. So you started with a filmmaker that needed help.
Yes.
They won awards because of you.
Yeah.
Do you guys still keep in contact?
Yes, absolutely.
What's the filmmaker name? You want to give him a shout out?
Yes.
I guess not.
All right.
So what I want to know now is you did that. Now what made you start a festival? Because you have
Okay.
October Film
Yep.
Festival. Yeah.
So I went to a lot of film festivals, as you guys have, and there was just stuff that was missing. I felt like a lot of the festivals, no offense to anyone out there, I love all you guys, but some of the festivals were very political, right? And I felt like I wanted to start a festival that was clean. And by that I mean a festival where it doesn't matter who's in your film, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It's strictly based on you being a great filmmaker who can tell a compelling story. And so then I said, you know what, I'm going to start my own film festival where we could do that, where we could just give a platform and celebrate filmmakers for being filmmakers.
Yeah, and that's great because a lot of filmmakers out there, if y'all don't know this, a lot of festivals turn into a business.
Yeah.
They showing 300 films, taking submission fees, and half the time they barely see you. So one thing I like about October Film Festival, it's very intimate, it's very engagement.
We're
when
a teaching
a
festival.
teaching festival.
Right.
When you started the festival, did you even realize how many lives you gonna touch?
I had no idea. I still can't really wrap my head around all of the people that I see on television now, the awards.
Right.
I mean, just even you guys, just to see all the stuff that you've done and that I know you. Sometimes I see you and I'm like, oh, look at them. How wonderful.
Yeah, and to my viewers, that's how we met.
Yes.
I was a regular filmmaker. I submitted my feature film, Life is Too Short.
Actually,
and,
somebody told me about you.
Yeah, someone told, and this is all about putting your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
So a little background story
Yes.
was EMELYN's festival was at this Poet Den Theater in Harlem. I actually rented out a few months before, and I sold it out, packed the
Multiple
house.
times.
Multiple times.
Right.
And my name started buzzing, and she started hearing my name. And I got to a festival, and I felt like home. And I go to the big festivals, you get lost because if you don't have a big name for your festival or a big publicist, you will literally get lost in the sauce. So yeah, you never know about networking and contact. And since then, we've been doing business and doing partnerships since then.
Yeah, that also speaks to you never know who's watching.
You never know who's watching.
Right, because then I looked you up, and then I was kind of just following and watching before I called you and said, not only do I want your film in the festival, but I also would like you to come and speak to filmmakers about how you did this thing. How did you sell out a theater multiple times? And then I'm thinking, because I had never heard of you, so how did he do that? No,
Yeah,
really.
right.
And I thought, well, if he could do it, surely other people could do
can
it.
do it too.
We just don't know how.
Yeah.
And that's why we're a teaching festival. And I said, I need to have him come and talk to filmmakers about how he did this thing. So
That's a lesson for the filmmakers out there.
yeah,
Put your best foot forward all the times.
Yeah, you never
because
know.
you
You
never
just
know.
never know who's watching.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now you're just businesswoman, you got your festival, you help some filmmakers. Now you decided, I want to start my own theater.
Yes.
Now, what's going on in that head and like, why you want to do this now?
Yeah.
You know, so, and again, I think that a lot of the things that I do, it's an answer to my own problem, right? And so I was renting space every year for the festival, and I felt like the venues were treating us badly, considering that we were spending $12,000 to $14,000 for 4 days to rent a space. I felt like the venues didn't understand filmmakers. And the importance of the Q&As. So we were rushed. You know, there was a year where they turned the lights off during our red carpet.
Oh.
I was there for that year.
Yeah, he was there
I
for
didn't
that.
see that.
And it just was devastating. Or when a movie doesn't play and they're like, well, we got to keep moving, so too bad. It just, and I thought, you know what, this can't continue to happen. I want to be able to control when I have the festival, when the filmmakers have events, we should be treated better. And I think what better way to do that than to start my own movie theater where I could give distribution in terms of theater runs, where I could help filmmakers make money and monetize their talent, grow their audience, and then at the same time, not have to deal with venues that don't understand what we do. You know, when you go into a place where there's a four-wall, they don't necessarily understand all of the issues that filmmakers have when they're trying to show their films.
We're here at Stuart's Cinema and Cafe.
So we had this famous movie theater that you started from the ground up. Tell us the service. Tell us what are you providing for the community?
You know, it's interesting. You called it a famous theater,
It is.
right? And I heard somebody earlier this week sort of refer to it in the same way. And I said, why do you call it famous? And she said, because you're the first Black Latina to own your own movie theater. And have a motion picture license and all of the stuff that comes with that. And I thought, wow, so people really feel like this is a historical first.
Right. It's a
A movement, yes.
And I think the main reason is that you have so many theaters out there,
Yeah,
and you don't even know who the owners look like.
that's true.
Right.
And
That's true.
this is a strong connection because there's nothing like seeing your own self, your own people. Like, wow, I could do that.
Yes.
Right.
And that's,
Yes.
I want to segue into my next question is, it is young females out there that's want to be where you at, that want to produce. How do you balance being a woman in this man-dominated industry?
Yes, it's hard. I will say I had major challenges building this place because although the contractors and all the business people that I dealt with to do this, they really had a hard time listening to what I was saying. I'm a producer, so I'm always looking for money. And there is this idea that we women do not know how to manage money, that we're not a good investment.
In 2018.
Yeah. And it's changing, right?
Yeah,
That's
it is,
changing.
yeah.
But that was also one of the struggles I had with raising money to do this, is because people really felt like I didn't know what I was talking about. So I think part of it is you've got to have a lot of your own skin in the game, especially as a woman, right? Because if you're going to wait for somebody to write you a check based on your talents and your vision, it may not happen.
Yeah.
So you have got to figure out how to make it happen for yourself. You know, I don't need a man to validate me. And I feel like, you know, we all have our different strengths and weaknesses, but I know what I bring to the table. And I think that's critical. Like, you have to know what you bring to the table. If you're coming there with your two arms swinging, you can't eat at that table. So if you know what you bring to the table, I think you have a much better chance of making it.
Yes, and to our filmmakers out there, you got to bring value.
Yes.
Your talent is just not enough no more.
Right.
If you have talent, that's like a bonus.
Yeah.
So if it's a table, you better bring a knife, you better bring the meat, you better bring the milk, because
Yep.
we're in the industry now that it just doesn't matter how talented you are.
I
Also,
almost think it's not about talent as much
It's
anymore.
not.
I mean, it matters, right?
it matters.
It matters.
It's a bonus.
But when you take two actors, for example, who are equally good, it's the one with the hustle that gets
Yeah.
the audition.
Yeah.
It's the one that's sending out the headshots, that's you know, walking around the streets looking for work. That's the person getting the jobs. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're more talented, but it's that drive.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why this series is called Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, because the hustle's so separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a filmmaker, Les is an actor.
Yeah.
We both won multiple awards. It's people out there that's better than us.
Yeah.
But what happened is we out hustling everybody.
Right. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know if they're better than me, but I work harder than them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you work
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what you got to do now.
Yeah.
Like now if you go in a meeting, they
Right.
ask you how many Instagram followers you got. Like, what?
Yeah.
So it's like, it becomes a numbers game. So also being a founder, owner, how is it dealing having your own kids? What's that balance like?
Wow, that's tough. I have always said the hardest part of being in the business is how many times I have to say goodbye to my children. Just in the morning, and I travel a lot, and I'm gone a lot. And it's hard. But I'll say this. I live in every moment that I'm in separately. So tonight I'm here with you. I'm in this moment.
I love that.
I'm celebrating what's happening right here.
love that.
When I go home, I'm in that moment with my children.
That's
I am
great.
the mommy, I am homework, I am doing all that stuff.
Oh, so you don't
So-
you don't take your work home with you?
It's one moment at a time.
That's good.
When I'm with my mom and we're having coffee, I'm a daughter.
Right.
And at that moment, that's what I do.
And that's a beautiful thing. You have to learn how to be different people.
Yeah.
If you're married,
Yes.
you gotta be a husband or a wife that night.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're on the company, you gotta be a CEO that night. If you're an
Yes.
actor, so you gotta play
Yes.
multiple hats.
Yes.
And sometimes it's confusing. But what do you do to detox? To having all this, where's your detox moments?
I read a lot.
Okay.
And believe it or not, I love reading about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you see me posting
Articles,
stuff that I
all that stuff,
learned,
yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
I am hungry for knowledge, and the more that I learn, the happier and more fulfilled I feel.
Love it.
Because I think there's just some rooms that we're
Right.
not going to get invited to.
Yeah.
But I love that you share that knowledge. Some people, they
Absolutely.
think, oh, I'm going to hold
Absolutely.
on to it and keep it to
Yeah.
myself. I don't want
Yeah.
anybody else to get ahead.
Yeah,
You can't get ahead that way.
you can.
Yeah.
And Lester,
You
you're an actor.
Yeah.
You're in the business. What do you do to detox?
Well, usually what I like to do is I like to just stay at home and just hang out with my partner, hang out with my dog. It's sometimes you have to actually get away from what you do in order to actually enjoy.
Disconnect.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like you shut down
Yeah.
and then
That's
you
true.
reboot once you go back into that world. You have to do that. Otherwise, you drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, I think everybody needs a detox. Me, I like to travel. I travel to get away from everything, and I come back to refresh. Another question I want to ask you is,
I text you when you're traveling about work all the time.
well, that's another thing too. When everybody have a
I
priority
agree.
list
She was in the middle of, where were you?
in Dubai.
In Dubai.
Yes.
I'm like texting, asking questions, because we do a lot of business together.
Right.
And then I thought, wait, he's in Dubai. I shouldn't be texting.
Well, that's called the priority list. In this industry, for you guys to know, you're gonna be people that's at the priority list that you're gonna get right back to them.
Right.
There's gonna be people that you see the text, but you won't answer because they're not on that priority list.
Oh, that's terrible.
And that's the reality.
That's terrible.
Another
That's
question I had to
bad.
ask you is,
I hope I'm on the top of that
It's-
list
it's-
everywhere.
You are. You on our show, baby.
See, now somebody who texted me today and didn't hear back from me and watches this
Listen,
is going to
guys.
be like,
Oh, EMELYN doesn't think I'm top
yeah.
priority.
yeah.
Listen, guys, it's not fair. This is what it is. It happens. Another question I want to ask you is, doing all this stuff, doing this business, you setting yourself up for your legacy. When you're not here no more, what is one thing you want people to say about you?
She cared,
Wow.
because I care.
Yeah,
I really, really, I care.
yeah. What about you, Lester?
Well, I care about everybody. I'm always looking to help people.
That's my line. You cannot say that you didn't care 5 minutes ago. Suddenly you care?
I'm rolling with the punches here.
Come up with your own line.
No, I just want people to realize that I made a difference. I want people to say, wow, Lester was a great guy. He helped me out. I remember when I needed an agent, and he got me that agent. I remember when he gave me advice on how to start my own film.
When you wrote that great book.
Right, exactly. You can get that on Amazon. Act Like
Yeah.
You Love Yourself. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
But no, that's why I did the book, because I want to give back to the people. I want people to get something from me. I don't want to feel like I'm taking everything for myself. It's not about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, this was Unscripted.
Conversations.
Unscripted, yes.
This was Unscripted
This was
Conversations.
unscripted. All the stuff that we talked about,
Yeah.
we didn't.
There was definitely no script.
Yeah, there was no script.
No script.
Script. Just
So, guys, this is Unscripted.
Conversations.
Antoine Allen,
Lester Green.
EMELYN Stewart.
Film Courage. We out.